Yeah, Theodore Storm and Luxembourg. Those are the ones who have gone. So they do have one spot available, which means that Caleb Ewan could slot in immediately with this team. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's a good move. I don't think Ineos should sign him because how does he add in to this squad? They don't really have a lead out train. I mean, they could put one together, which would be pretty good. But is Caleb Ewan really the man to put on to the end of that? He is still fast. He does still get wins. He's more of a like cockard figure, I'd say now, like better on those punchy finishes rather than a flat out kind of drag race sort of sprint that we've seen from him in the past when he was, fighting with Sam Bennett for like wins and stuff back in the Tour. God, those are some pretty good days. For me, I think Ineos. Sorry, yeah, but I just had this. Do you remember that? Do you remember that sprint? Right, I know, slight tangent, but there was like Bennett, Ewan, Wout van Aert, and Peter Sagan all lunging for the line, and it was like a blanket finish, and it was just so good in the Tour back in 2020. Anyway, I digress from that. I think Ineos would be better off, honestly, either just not signing him or basically have just signed a better rider during the transfer season when it was actually going on. I don't understand why they'd wait for Caleb Ewan, who, yeah, he might get some wins, but does that really add anything to Ineos? They seem to care more about GC. Is Caleb Ewan really going to bring in that many wins where it's going to move the needle with the team? I don't think so. They're going through definitely a rebuild at the moment. And I think they would be better off just saving their money and just going all in on a bigger name at the end of 2025.
I mean, you make a good point. Where does he actually fit in? If, like, hypothetically, he's there, Tour Down Under is already starting. So he's not going to be there to pick up the number of victories he could do there. Are they going to care about the 2.1 races? If he picks up, like, let's say 5 victories, like a handful, like, let's say he takes some wins in the Tour of Denmark, the UAE Tour, something like that. It is points, but it's not a Grand Tour stage win. And I don't know if he even fits in there. The Tour team, they won't bring him there. The Giro team, I'm not even sure they're going to bring him there either. So it would be maybe the Vuelta.
Yeah, probably get a Vuelta spot to fight for the sprints which are going on there, the few which are.
Well, he could probably win quite a few, be contesting those sprints if he only has to beat Caden Groves.
Yeah. He would get victories, that's the thing, but it's just whether Ineos care about that. They don't need UCI points. That's not really their problem. They're not fighting a relegation battle. They're fighting for, the top spots in the World Tour ranking. That's where they've fallen off. That's what they want to get back to. So I don't think Caleb Ewan's really going to be doing that. I think, like I said, they'd be better off, like, for example, speaking of big names who are out of contract at the end of 2025 that they should probably be looking at, there's Mads Pedersen and Olav Koy. Would it not be much better? Like, I think we can all agree, if you're going to have somebody who's going to get a Grand Tour victory, it's probably more likely to be Olav Koy or Mads Pedersen than it is to be Caleb Ewan. For the simple fact of the matter that Olav Koy actually won a Grand Tour stage this year and Pedersen has won loads of them. So Ineos would just be better off not including Caleb Ewan just because it would just be more complicated at the end of 2025 when it comes to continuing their rebuild. Wouldn't it? Because you're just going to end up with this kind of like sprinter who is just sort of going to get shuffled down the pack, and it's like, where do they even fit into the pecking order of the squad? It's going to make it too complicated. You'd be better off just leaving him out and saving yourself a hassle at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think if, like, okay, fair enough, Geraint Thomas saying that, but do they actually need a sprinter? Like, is that kind of jack of all trades, master of nothing?
Yeah. Would there be a team, like, moving away from Ineos?
That is the next question. Where would you send him?
Where would he go?
Can't go to Uno X because he's not Danish or Norwegian. I like the Astana angle, but I think you said they were full.
Yeah. I honestly think
They've been shuffling some of the riders down into the development team, so maybe they could shuffle one more rider down.
they could do. I honestly think he would fit in at Q36.5.
I mean, it's the buzz that they have from the Pitcock. I don't think it's a bad move right now, and the backing that they have and the energy behind it right now, the hype, everything. Yeah, it's not bad.
Or Intermarché. I mean, they lost Madis Mikkels.
Yeah,
Is
but
their kind of like second sprinter?
Gavin Tyson, Benny.
Well, that's true.
Tyson.
But they wouldn't say no to another, I don't think.
Yeah, but
like our team preview that we did of them, they don't have the most like depth in their squad roster.
But it's another sprinter, so it's like,
yeah.
I mean, is he better than Tyson's, in your opinion? And they love him as well, by the way, because the Belgian sponsors, etc.
Yeah, I don't think he's better than Gerber Tyson. I think, but he's got to go somewhere, Scott. Honestly, I think he would go Pro Conti. I don't think he'd go back to Lotto. It would either be Q36.5, maybe Unibet, or
Unibet. Wow.
Yeah, Polti.
The YouTube finds a former Tour de France stage winner.
I don't know, Israel Premier Tech.
No, they're full now. So
are they full?
Yeah.
Where else? Where else are you gonna go? Like X, Total Energies.
I mean, Total Energies kind of need someone like that.
Do Arkea have a spot? Would he go to Arkea? Would he go to a French team? Does that make sense? DSM? Oh no, sorry, Picnic or whatever it's not.
They've got Jacobsen and Tobias Lohn and Andresen. So
yeah,
we are down to Q36.5.
I'm telling you, they would sign him. If they've got enough money to be signing Pidcock, they've probably got enough like pennies left to be throwing to. Well, it won't be pennies, but you know what I mean. Yeah. They've got enough spare cash to be throwing at Caleb Ewan. It gives their squad a little bit more like well-roundedness. Like, because in terms of sprinters, they've got Nizzolo, Moschetti, Lipins. They do have a lead-out train because they've got like Roy Townsend, Steimler, short backs. I also think he would fit in well at Q36.5. That's my take.